Hello, my name is Jessica Shepherd, and I am to discuss my video 2 of my elementary student named Robert. After I thought critically about all of the testing assessments that took place with Robert on his diagnostic summary, I come to the conclusion that he needed to work on subtraction. He did have a problem with this. He had a very strong weakness in this. I feel that the student needed to practice in this area to maybe make his weakness into a strength. But like I just said, one of Robert's weaknesses is subtraction, which is a lesson in math or math computation. I believe with more practice and one-on-one help, he would be able to do the majority of his subtraction problems independently. I think he could use manipulatives to help him with the subtraction, but there's 12 problems. There's the 12 problems. 12 different problems that he's expected to do independently at his desk. He'll use the skills that's been previously taught before. Also, I want you to notice how there's blocks. There's little blocks beside each number, even the blocks at the answer for the difference, which is the answer to a subtraction problem. I believe that can really help him too as well, to help him, it'll benefit him. But as you can see, Robert did miss half of the problems. He was instructed to subtract each problem on this worksheet. On the problems that he missed, as you can see, was only missed by off one number. Like on this first problem, got 9 minus 5, and he said 3. Which the answer is 4, so that was one off. And then 8 minus 4, he said 5, which the answer is 4. And 10 minus 2, he said 7, which the answer is 8. 9 minus 3, he said 5, which 9 minus 3 is 6. 7 minus 2, he said 4, which the answer is 5. And then at the very bottom line, 8 minus 3, he said 4, when the answer is 5 as well. So he did make simple mistakes. I think that if he maybe have calmed down more and took more of his time and actually laid out his manipulatives, that I think he would have done better. He doesn't work very well independently. He has a lot of problems with that. He works best with a teacher or another student. Most of the time when he's at his desk, you have to constantly remind him, hey, Robert, make sure are you doing what you're supposed to be doing? And then whenever he is doing what he's supposed to be doing, you have to make sure you say, good job, Robert. You're doing really well. Just keep up the good work if he's on task while he's working independently. And this does excite him whenever he sees that you've noticed that he is doing what he's supposed to be doing. But there was a total of 12 problems, and he got 6 of these problems correct. But on Robert's Key Math 3 assessment, he had an overall score of a well below average. So on basic concepts, he had well below average, which put him in a scale score of 3 and a grade equivalent level of 1.0, which is well below average for addition and subtraction. One recommendation that I would give Robert to improve his subtraction skills is to always use manipulatives. He needs to take his time and use different manipulatives. Like he can use these manipulatives right here, which, they pull apart, and he can pull them at the top of his desk and drag them down, which I believe that will come beneficial to him. Another thing that I would think that would benefit Robert was, like, in a lesson, maybe use candy or something like Skittles or M&Ms to teach him how to subtract. For kids with autism, it's sometimes hard to understand, like, why we use stuff today, and it's just hard to wrap their mind around it. So, like, if you use something that they can relate to, it'll be easier for them to understand. So, like, for example, if I tell him to put out 5 Skittles on his desk, and he does that, and I'll tell him to count those 5 Skittles. So he'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Count the 5 Skittles. Okay, I have 5 Skittles. Then I will tell him, okay, now you can eat 2 Skittles. So he picks up one and puts it in his mouth, eats it, and then picks up the other one and puts it in his mouth and eat it. Now I'll say, now Robert, count how many Skittles is on your desk. And he'll count them, 1, 2, 3. And I'll say, okay, so how many do you have left? And he'll say 3. And I'll say, good job. 5 minus 2 is what? You had 5 Skittles. You ate 2, so you took 2 away. So you subtracted 2 from 5. So how many Skittles do you have left? And then he could see with his eyes that there is only 3 Skittles left. I think that would be very beneficial for him. Another recommendation that I would show Robert is to tell him to take his time. I would try to make sure that he understands the importance of taking his time. That he shouldn't be in a hurry. Just take his time on each and every problem. Just think critically about each one. And then also, like, just the teacher needs to stress the importance of taking his time and how important and how much better and how much more he succeeds whenever he isn't in a hurry and he stays on task while he's working independently. But another recommendation I would do, like this, I know not all the time you can work in groups, but like something to do to just kind of help him catch on better, would maybe let him work with a partner. Robert has a tendency to not want to work by himself independently. He'll just do about anything he can to get away from the fact to having to do anything as far as working independently, because he likes to be with his friends and he likes the reassurance that he's doing something right. So I think that him working with a partner would be very beneficial. And also, like, if one student is interested, then more than likely it's going to get another student interested, and then that in turn will turn into a better lesson. But overall, I think these results do correlate with the diagnostic summary that was presented before, because he did score in the well below average range for addition and subtraction, and he scored also, I would say, well below average. I mean, he scored a 50%. He scored a 6 out of 12, so that overall is a 50% range.